Hey, Jackson Arkenmore back with another video, and welcome to Storytime Sunday, where I read from my first book in the Legacy of Echo series, The Echoes of Sacrifice. So let's go ahead and get started with Chapter 3. Kieran wiped the sweat from his brow as he tweaked some gears in the harvester. The pulsing blue glow from the machine's heart crystal bathed his face. He closed the access panel with a satisfied nod. Fixed. Zara's face lit up. Thank you, Kieran. I don't know what we'd do without your help during the harvesting season. He grabbed a rag and tossed it to her. You've got grease on your cheek. She caught it, wiped her face, and handed it back. Still, we're lucky to have you. Nobody in the village understands the machines like you do. He packed up the tools. His mind drifted to his uncle's farm back on Earth. The machines there had been light years ahead of this simple technology, but the secret stayed locked away. Thinking of home brought a familiar ache. His students were out there somewhere, being groomed as heroes without him to guide them. He needed updates from the capital. Zara's hand brushed his shoulder. Are you okay? Fine. He met her gaze. When does the migration end? It's been nearly 2 months, and I need to get to my students. Her eyebrow raised, lips parted slightly. I'm not exactly sure. You should ask my father. He'd caught her stealing looks his way over the past few weeks, noticed her finding excuses to be around him more. Time to address it head on. Why don't you have a husband yet? Too young, or is Elric too overprotective? Zara tilted her head. What do you mean? I became an adult when I turned 16. I've been of marrying age for over 4 years now. So what happened? I was supposed to marry a noble's son from Crystaldale. He couldn't lower himself to marry someone of such low status as a chief's daughter. So he selected another woman. The second attempt ended when that man died. She looked away. After that, I told my father no more arranged marriages. I'd choose my husband or no husband at all. Good. A woman who knows what she wants. A smile tugged at her lips. That means a lot coming from you. She glanced toward the village. We should head back. It's almost time for evening meal. They approached the main cottage. Alric huddled with a group of villagers, voices low and urgent. One man looked at him, chin jerked in a silent signal. The group scattered. Each offered a curt nod as they passed. Something was off. Once he was near Alric, he asked, what was that all about? Alric turned and walked into the main cottage. Just the usual village business. Nothing to be concerned about. Zara excused herself. Kieran followed the elder inside and sat down on one cushion near the central hearth. How much longer until this monster migration ends? It's been nearly 2 months. The old man sat down across from him, stroked his salt and pepper beard. The monster migration should have already ended, but it appears this season is longer than normal. I would suggest another week, maybe 2. But Kieran, I have a favor to ask of you, if you're willing. What do you need? Our village is running low on crucial medicinal herbs. They grow only in the nearby Thelwyn forest. Normally, we'd send one of the other men, but with the late harvest, we need everyone here. Kieran considered the request. The village had shown him kindness, fed him, gave him shelter. He couldn't leave them in their time of need, even if every day here was another day a student spent without him. I'll do it. Tell me what herbs you need to collect and where in the forest to find them. Thank you, Kieran. This means a great deal to us. Alric stood and retrieved a small pouch of silver coins and a rolled parchment from a shelf. This parchment has a map to the grove where they grow. The forest is only about a half-day walk. Kieran accepted the items. I'll set out first thing in the morning. Should be back in a couple of days. Alric clasped his shoulder. The village will pray for your safe return. He headed back to his cottage to begin preparations. The familiar path to his hut wound past his workout spot. Every morning since his arrival, he trained there. Fists and feet cut through the crisp air. The wooden staff he'd carved sliced through fluid motions that had grown sharper with each passing day. A woman stepped forward, pressed a fresh loaf into his hands. For helping me fix my door last week. He nodded, accepted the bread. Another villager approached with a basket of eggs. These are from this morning, the best layers. More villagers came, dried meats, fresh vegetables, a jar of honey. The sudden generosity felt wrong after months of polite distance. They'd been kind enough, but this felt different. His gaze drifted to the fields where he'd spent countless hours alongside the villagers. The work wasn't glamorous, but it had filled his days. Simple tasks, honest sweat, no politics, no schemes, no life or death situations, just the rhythm of village life. If his students weren't out there being forced into a position of heroes, possibly in danger, he could see himself staying longer. The thought caught him off guard. A child ran up and handed him a fruit. Ma says thank you for fixing our crystal lamp. He ruffled the kid's hair. Tell her she's welcome. The repairs had started small, a broken hinge here, a stuck gear there. Word spread quickly that he understood the crystal-powered machines. Soon villagers sought him out daily with various mechanical troubles. An elderly couple shuffled forward with a cloth-wrapped package. "Some of my wife's dried herbs for your journey," the old man said. "Journey?" He kept his face neutral. "In gathering the medicinal herbs tomorrow," the wife explained. He hadn't mentioned leaving yet. Something in their tone nagged at him. The entire village seemed to treat this herb-gathering trip with unusual gravity. Kieran shouldered open the door's hut, arms laden with the villagers' gifts. He set the items down on the warm wooden prep table, sorted through the unexpected bounty. The dried meat went into a storage box. He kept the fresh ingredients separate for tonight's meal. He crossed to the hearth and grabbed a few logs from the stack. The wood settled into place. A few strikes of flint and steel. Flames licked up through the kindling. Back at the prep table, he pulled his knife from its sheath. The blade made quick work of the vegetables. The eggs cracked with sharp taps against the bowl's rim, its contents joining the pile of cut vegetables. He added chunks of fresh boar meat. The old iron pot hung on its hook above the fire. Water sloshed as he poured it in, followed by the mixed ingredients. Steam rose as everything settled into a slow simmer. He dropped onto the cushion by the fire, watched orange flames dance beneath the pot. The fruit was smooth in his palm. His teeth broke through. Sweet. Juice ran down his chin. He wiped it away with the back of his hand. 2 months in this hut. Somehow it started to feel like his own. Kieran ladled the steaming soup into a clay bowl. The broth had bits of meat and vegetables. He settled back onto his cushions. The first spoonful hit his tongue. Salt and herbs. Not bad for improvised cooking. Between bites, his gaze drifted around the humble space. The tools hung on pegs along one wall, his sleeping mat in the corner. The shelf was stocked with basic supplies. Everything had its place, arranged with the efficiency of a man used to living alone. He scraped the last bits from the bowl, set it aside. Rising to his feet, he gripped the pot's handle with a thick cloth and lifted it from its hook. The remaining soup sloshed gently as he carried it to the flat rock near the hearth. The stone surface was perfect for cooling pots. He needed a good meal when he returned from gathering those herbs. A sharp knock on the door pierced the quiet. He rose and crossed the entrance. The door swung open. Zara stood there, face etched with concern. He stepped aside and gestured her in. They made their way to the hearth. Warm glow cast flickering shadows as they took their seats. "Kieran, I heard that you're going into Thalwyn Forest tomorrow for the medicinal herbs." She paused. "Please be careful." "I will be." She nodded, but still looked troubled. "I know." He reached out and squeezed her shoulder. "Nothing will happen to me, Zara. I'll be back before you know it." "Thank you, Kieran." He closed the space between them, cupped her cheek with his hand, pressed his lip against hers. The tension between them broke. His fingers traced the back of her neck and drew her closer. Their hands wandered, explored, breaths quickened. Kieran's heart thundered in his chest as their bodies cooled. Zara's naked form pressed close, her head nestled against him. His arm curled around her. Her fingers traced patterns across his chest. "I wish we could stay like this forever." He tightened his hold on her, didn't answer. Dawn would bring reality. His students needed him. Earth called him across the void between worlds, and she had her own duties here, helping lead her people alongside her father. But he couldn't regret this night, not when she'd looked at him with such complete acceptance. Zara's eyelashes fluttered as exhaustion claimed her. She pressed closer. Sleep wouldn't come. He cataloged the details instead. Her breathing, the weight of her against him, the scent of her hair. Their time together was fleeting, stolen moments in the dark. The thought was dangerous, indulgent, but he let it linger until sleep finally took him. And that is chapter 3 of the Echoes of Sacrifice, the first book in the Legacy of Echoes series. Please feel free to join us next week on Sunday for the next installment / chapter 4 of Storytime Sundays. Until then, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next video.